so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you're joining me from. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greeting according to your time zone. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. You can be among the first to receive it. Then go to the comment section at all times. Leave your comment, drop your contribution. If you have suggestions, make it out there. If you have any criticism, put it down on the comment section. It will make us to get better, presenting you a better program. Thank you so much. Know to be a taboo in the past. They are no longer taboo. So many things that we know that are things that people are very ashamed to be associated with today. They celebrate it in the open. People are no longer ashamed of anything. And it is so disturbing that even the Africans, Africa that is a virgin land, in Africa where you can find, I can say is a virgin land in every ramification. Africa is a virgin land. All those their useless policies and all those their wicked teachings, some of them have not penetrated in Africa. But the speech at which those messages coming is disturbing. It's disturbing. That is why we are fighting day in, day out for us to have our own nation so that we can lead the Biafran people to success. We can lead Biafran people to the side of Chukwuka. That is one of our mission. So many wrong messages are flying out there. So many wrong teachings are flying there. Teachings that goes against Chukwuka, and people celebrate it as the right thing. It is so sad. But that is where we find ourselves, and we will not continue, we will not stop talking, we will not stop doing what we have to do. Yeah, I know my beloved brother Solomon, I know the network problem is not just you. It's not just you. The network problem is everywhere. Before I came online, it was so difficult. This is how they were cutting me off and on. And I'm very sure that the Wi-Fi I'm using is a very good Wi-Fi. The network is full on the Wi-Fi, but when it comes to broadcasting online, you find out that the thing begun to wumble. So it is not just an ordinary thing. All these hindrances that are coming our way, trying to stop us to send the message that we are supposed to send, but we will never give up. No matter how they try to stop us, no matter how they try to hinder us, no matter how they push their blackmail right, left, and center, we will continue to preach that gospel. More especially at this time that the life of our school is at stake. They can't stop us. They can't stop us. The supreme leader of IPOB, Mazen Nandekan, has not committed any crime. Why would you treat him in such a way? Why would you take away all his human rights? And the funniest thing is that taking away his human rights, this is a British citizen whose right has been denied by another country. A British citizen. And these British are the people that are preaching for us against about human rights. Every time they will never say anything without talking about human rights. They will tell you about human rights, how people's rights have been taken away. They will tell you about maltreating the minority. But look at how Mazen Nandekano is being treated. They stripped him of every of his rights that he has as a human being. Kidnapped him from Kenya. Renditioned him to Nigeria. On sending him to Nigeria, they took him to their court. The court said, let him go, he's innocent. Yet, they have refused to let Mazen Nandekano go. And even when they have refused to let him go, the country which he is bearing their passport, which he traveled with their passport, have refused to do anything up to today. And the same country will come out and be preaching human rights for me. And you expect him to pay attention. Look at the United States. United States that propagate human rights everywhere, talk about people's rights, people's rights, people's rights. Today, a country that is abusing people's rights, taking away rights of people, they are still having bilateral relationship with them, including selling ammunition to them. How do you explain that? How do you explain the Western world, United States and UK, supporting Nigeria in their evil act, including giving them ammunition? How do you explain that? It is only sheer wickedness. It's only sheer wickedness. They do not want Biafra to survive. Knowing what Biafrans are made of, they have confessed it by themselves several times that Biafrans are very industrious people. They have all the system you can take on the planet Earth. The democracy they are preaching all over it started in Biafra land. Biafra
land, we began to practice democracy ever before Europeans begin to think of what is called democracy. Democracy has been in Biafra land ever before every one of them talked about it. Inclusion in every ramification of life has been in Biafra land before ever they thought about it. But today, most of those things that we had, the original in our land, they have infiltrated, spoiled it, and gave it the opposite of the time. They have given it opposite meaning. They tell you about women's rights. When you come about women's rights, you find out they are doing a different thing altogether. What they are doing is separating families, setting families apart from each other. But this women's right has been in Biafran land ever before they thought about it. Our women have been included in every areas of life. And yet, that did not make them to lose their stance in the family. That did not make them to forget their family. That did not make them to forget their role in the family. That is how Biafrans are. Biafrans include their women. The very first democracy on the planet Earth was in Biafra land. The very first inclusive system where women and men are included in all ramifications and treated equal is in Biafra land. And yet, these people have come today to infiltrate it, spoil it, and begin to give out their own version of democracy. Look at their own version of democracy. Their own version of democracy today is to rig election and make sure that the person rigged in takes over. That is the kind of democracy that the West is preaching to us. Throwing away the original one that we have with us. They throw it to the trash. And they now pollute that democracy now, put all manner of things into it, and they are selling it back to some people, and they are buying it. Today, the democracy that the West is preaching is a situation where election will be rigged before your own very eyes. They rig election, and the next minute they are congratulating the person that rigged election. So in their own democracy, as long as you can be able to rig yourself in, it doesn't matter how you get to power. As long as you can get there, they were going to support you. That is the system they are running today. That is why you see every one of them. When you look them and trace them, you see the traces of fraud. You see the traces of rigging in all the elections on the planet Earth. Every one of them. But Biafra is going to change that. Biafra is going to change that, and that is why we are fighting day in, day out to get out of that very contraption, so that we can build, we can reinstall our real virtue in Biafra land. We can return back the real democracy, what is called the original democracy. We want to practice it again in Biafra land. The real inclusion, we want to practice again in Biafra land. That is what we want to do. We want to set an example that people will emulate. We want to lead the road. We lead the road to Africa for other African countries to key in and practice democracy the way it's supposed to be. Not waiting on the West to come and sponsor Q or sponsor one person or rig election for them to install somebody who never had anything to offer. A selfish man, a fraudster, a drug baron. Those are the people they rig into power in Africa. And the West are the very first people they congratulate such people. After all, they help them to steal the money. They help them to keep the monies in their various countries, to prosper their own government. Meanwhile, where the money is stolen from becomes the poverty capital of the whole world. Is that not wickedness? That is a sheer wickedness. Nigerian politicians have money stashed out all over the world. Name it: United States, UK, Switzerland, Germany. So many other countries where the politicians in that very contraption called Nigeria stash out money. And these Western countries embrace them, help them to hide the money. They help them, welcome them, help them to keep the money, and they use it for themselves. And they will be watching the news every day, where they were calling the Nigeria the poverty capital of the world. And they are not moved. They don't care. They don't care. And the worst is that they will turn around again and call the country a corrupt country. They will be the one to blow the trumpet and say that you are corrupt. Meanwhile, they are the engineer of the corruption. They are the promoters and supporters of the corruption. In fact, the seed from that corruption, they are the one keeping it safe. And they are not willing to let go or change it. They are not willing to let go or change it. You see why we are asking for our freedom. We are asking for our freedom so that we can be able to establish a standard for our people. To make sure that they do not sweep our brain with these their fake messages. Because already many Biafrans have been affected. All these criminal politicians in Biafra land, are they not Biafran? They are Biafrans. They are Biafrans. But today, their mentality is just like that of a criminal. The mentality of a Biafran politician is the same thing with the politician you see in Nigeria. And they are pushing it down. Look at even Ohanese and Igbo. The mentality of Ohanese and Igbo is just the same thing with that of the caliphate. People who don't value their own. Today, the lawyer of Madison have made an announcement about his situation of health. How many governors have you seen speaking? How many Ohanese and Igbo members have you seen talking? None of them want to hear about it. Nobody wants to. All those who claim to be elite, they claim to be elite. But this is their own brother, their own son in captivity. Not because he committed any offense. He has not committed any crime. He was only protecting his own people and trying to defend his own land. And even in the law court, the court said that this man is innocent, let him go. But they have refused to let him go. They have refused to let him go. And the governors in the southeast pretend they don't know what is happening. The lawmakers are still going to their House of Assembly and all their houses and all that. And they go and come back without any protest, without any strong demand for the release of their own brother. What does that tell you? That tells you that we have no representation anywhere. And that is why we are moving to take our freedom into our own hand. That is why most of the time we do what we are doing. And very soon, you will see more things happening. Our spokesperson has given the mandate of the release of Madison. If they refuse to release Madison, whatever they see, let them take it. Let them take it. Because we cannot continue to cry every day. We cannot continue to complain every day. We cannot continue to share tears every day. We have cried enough. We have complained enough. Year in, year out. This time is time for action. And for those of them who are claiming to be followers of Madison Nandekano, enough of all these propagandas and all these attacks you are giving to your own brothers. Focus on the real thing. Focus on the real thing. I have said it several times. Focus on the real thing. If you want Biafra, focus on Biafra. It is not mandatory that you must walk along with Master Simon Ekpa. It is not mandatory that you bring him down before you rise. No. Why not create your own? Create your own. As you cannot be able to, you cannot be able to follow the speed of the autopilot, or you cannot be able to condone what they are doing. You cannot be able to stand or defend what they are doing. Why don't you start your own? If you cannot start your own, why don't you keep quiet, keep silent, just go to sleep? Pretend they don't exist. Just pretend. Pretend that the autopilot IPOB is not existing. Go your separate ways. Then when Biafra come, you will not come back. Whoever gets it, if it is you that gets it through your sleeping, or we that got the Biafra, every one of us will meet in Biafra land. And we will explain ourselves. Every one of us today that have keyed into this struggle, there are evidences everywhere of our actions. We are keeping a record of every action of every legitimate Biafra, as long as from the old South Asia. And when we go back home, you appear before the court and you explain to them why you did what you did. The Biafran struggle must continue. The request for the freedom of Madison Nandekano unconditionally must continue. And we have to prepare for the worst. I always say, get prepared for the worst. Because no matter what happens, we cannot stop asking for our freedom. And Biafra, in 2023 will be remembered. 2023 will be remembered. There's nothing anybody can do about it. I appreciate our Prime Minister, Madison, wherever he is. I appreciate him, and I pray that Chukwu are going to protect him and secure him. He is doing a very great job. He cannot be distracted. Let them continue their distraction, their blackmail and propaganda. He is focused. Very, very focused. And you heard him say, even before that, you heard him say that the release of Mazen Nandekano is top priority. He said it even before the information come from the DSS. The release of Mazen Nandekano is our top priority. We must do everything necessary. And since the Pharaoh we are talking about is a stubborn Pharaoh, every Biafra have to prepare for every possibility. We will do anything. There's no limit to what we can do to make sure that Mazen Nandekano is ready, to make sure that they feel the impact of holding Mazen Nandekano. They thought that we are cowards, or maybe we don't have anything to do. Just watch and see patiently. Just watch and follow up. When it begins to happen, blame yourself. When it begins to happen, blame yourself, because we told you. Biafra must be free. No matter what you think, no matter what you believe, no matter the angle you think you're coming from, Biafra will definitely be free. We will be free. Free from all captivity, free from the enemy, free from all the blackmail, free from every infiltration. We will be free. We cannot continue to condone this evil message they are pushing to us. We have everything that it takes to be a nation. We have the so-called democracy they are preaching. We own the original version of it. We will activate it. Equality, we had it before ever they began to preach it. The original form with original mindset. We had it, not the kind they are preaching to us today, destroying families and relationships. Not that time. We are going back to base. To be whom we are supposed to be before Chukwu Kukariyawa. To deliver the message you are supposed to deliver. To serve where we are supposed to serve. And to create a nation where people will be safe. Every Biafra must rise up now. If you know you love Mazen Nandekano, this is time for you to focus on the right thing and speak. If you know you love Mazen Nandekano, it's not just by saying it. Because so many people today who are claiming to love Mazen Nandekano don't love him. They don't. Because if you love him, number one, you obey his commands, you obey his words. How can you say you love someone, yet you don't keep any single word among all he has said? You don't obey his instructions. You throw his word to the dustbin. You trash his words, and still yet you say you love him. How can you love? What a love is that? Judas. That's the kind of love, the kiss of Judas. That's what you give to Mazen Nandekano. So many of them who are shouting, oh, our supreme leader Mazen Nandekano, oh, Mazen Nandekano this, Mazen Nandekano this, that. They are only giving him the kiss of Judas. They don't really love him. Because if they do, most of the crises we are having in IPOB today, you will not have it. If they do, the destruction and the oppression you are seeing in Biafra struggle today, you will see it. Because Mazen Nandekano have spelled it out who he wants to lead. He has spelled it out who we should protect and listen to. He has spelled it out. But yet, because of your envy, your jealousy and wickedness, you have refused to listen to the voice of reason. And you pretend to use Mazen Nandekano's name to exalt yourself, to use Mazen Nandekano's name to drag attention to yourself. Biafrans cannot be dragged into nonsense. Never. Biafrans are focused. No matter how the trash you want to bring, no matter how you try to bring your trash and your destruction. Biafrans remain focused. Biafra remains focused. Oscar Ebano, yeah, Oscar, I'm going to join them on Twitter. I will join on Twitter. I'm going to do that. I'm going to join on Twitter. May Chukwu be my guide and protect every one of us. Please, we must remain focused and speak up for that which is right. Don't allow yourself to be distracted. It is now time for us to focus on our freedom. The freedom of Madison. He has seen a lot. Madison has suffered a lot. And time has come that we will channel our energy to his freedom. Prepare yourself for what is coming. Do not forget the message of our Supreme Madison and the message that the Prime Minister of Biafra is giving us today. The Prime Minister of Biafran government in exile has given so many instructions that we must obey and we must pay attention. They are for your own good. They are for your own good. You must pay attention. The attack that is coming right, left, and center, the attack that is coming from east, west, north, and south, wherever they are coming from, don't give in. Do not give in to those attacks. Continue to stand your ground and focus and listen to the voice of reason from the Prime Minister of Biafran Republic government in exile, Madison. He has the message, he has the mantle, and he has the roadmap. Let us pay attention to him and stop distracting him. If you don't know what to say on your platform, continue to demand for the release of Madison. Continue to speak for the release, unconditional release of Madison. Continue to speak about Madison health and his rights. That topic alone is okay. That topic alone is okay. It will go a long way. Why do you spend your precious time distracting people who doesn't even know that you're existing? Why do you spend your precious time speaking to those who are not even willing to listen to you? The race for our freedom will continue and we shall be free. Regardless of what you do, whether you support, you don't support, whether you agree, you don't agree, whether you follow, you don't follow. No man born of a woman can stop us from getting our freedom. We must get our freedom. And it's going to be this year. As we are pursuing our freedom, we are pursuing the freedom of Madison. The coming of Biafra is the freedom of Madison. And Madison is going to come out with Biafran flag raised high. I've said this several times. Our spokesperson, Madison, has said it. And it's going to happen. We will continue to confess it until it happens. Not just confess it and be silent. We continue to confess it and we're going to work towards that. That is exactly what we're doing. Working towards that to make sure that Madison regains his freedom. Every one of us, we must continue to pray for Madison. Pray for him for strength. Pray for him for revelation. Pray for him for guidance. Pray for him for good health. Continue to pray for Madison until he joins us, that Chukwu will keep him strong. May Chukwu guide and protect every Biafran that is watching this very broadcast. Wherever you are connecting from, thank you for joining us. Please kindly share the broadcast to family and friends. May Chukwu guide and protect the Biafran people, the Ududua people, the Middle Belters, and everyone that is genuinely fighting for freedom in that contraption. May Chukwu guide and protect the Biafran people. Guide and protect all the media warriors that are speaking on different fronts, media warriors that are making points on different points. May Chukwu continue to guide and protect and secure them. May Chukwu continue to guide and protect the ESN, the Umuada, the BNL, every other group that is working earnestly to see that our freedom comes. May Chukwu guide and protect every one of them. We shall be free. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, no matter their blackmail and propaganda, we will definitely be free. May Chukwu guide and protect our Prime Minister, the Prime Minister of Biafran government in exile, Madison. May Chukwu guide and protect him, secure him, give him divine security, grant him divine favor, give him more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, so that he will carry us into Biafra. Secure him, cover him with your presence, Lord. Continue to be with him, secure him in every aspect of his life. I appreciate every one of you who have been patient to be with us up to this minute. No weapon formed or fashioned against the Biafran people shall prosper. No weapon formed or fashioned against our spokesperson, Madison, shall prosper. No weapon formed or fashioned against the Biafran people shall prosper. Thank you so much for watching wherever you're watching from. I remember blessed. We'll see you again tomorrow. And please continue to pray for Madison Nandekam for his health. All is not well, but by the special grace of Chukwu, all will be well soon. Thank you and stay safe. Bye-bye.